This is Lucy's event blog. So I just want to start off by saying thank you so much to the kind words and all the reactions from part 1 of this series. Your feedback was incredible and I really do hope you enjoy this one just as much. So let's get into it. So I ended the last video by telling you how Universal's presentation went. So the presentation of the Booba Bingo event to the client and to the lecturers, and obviously that was a success. So when we went back in January, we needed to nail down that venue, and it wasn't without the help of our lecturer that we managed to actually find a good venue, because it was a charity event. They offered it free of charge and it was amazing. They let us use their bingo machine and they let us advertise our event to their customers, which was amazing because it was a social club and they did a bingo every Wednesday. So some of their regulars did actually come to our event, but more on that later in the video. So the first thing we had to do once we'd found the venue is create the poster. So I created the poster. The one thing I'm going to say is definitely check your posters before you go to print them. We did print with a few spelling mistakes and I think we ended up remaking the poster about 4 times after we'd been like, yeah, we'll do this one, it'll be fine. So yeah, definitely double check, and if you've double checked and if the rest of your group have double checked, send it to a few of your friends, get them to double check, because that's what we lacked. We just all quickly read it in a lecture and we're like, yeah, it's fine, we'll send it, be fine. I think I even put the wrong postcode at one point. Don't do that. So once that was all sorted, we wanted to make sure that our pub quiz fundraiser was a success. So we'd already started getting ticket sales online. I'd been advertising it through the Facebook page and my personal Facebook page, and we'd started to sell quite a lot of tickets. And the week of the pub quiz, I went with my uncle to his social club, which was kind of like where it was, where the event was going to be, and I met a few of the people who went to the pub quiz. I saw how they did it, and we made a seating plan kind of thing, so we knew that everybody would definitely fit. And it wasn't until that night that we realised we'd sold 75 tickets. Now, that's a lot more than we were planning to sell. So although we had the capacity of 120 people, us as Universal were thinking, oh, we'll get about 25-30 people, we'll raise a bit of money. But we got a whopping 75 people and it was £5 a ticket. So we are incredibly thankful to every single person who turned up to that. The night of the pub quiz, I had to work all day. So I had to run straight from work, straight over to Salford to do our pub quiz fundraiser. And luckily, Neve and the rest of the girls were fine setting up with my uncle. My uncle is one of the nicest, chattiest guys you'll ever meet, so there'll have been no awkwardness. And it was fine, it was perfect. So we got there, it was all set up and we were ready for the customers. We raised an incredible £535 just from this one pub quiz fundraiser. So we were well on our way to what we needed, and we could use that money to buy the products we needed for the event. We needed bingo tickets, we needed to make sure that we had table decorations, balloons and all that kind of thing. So the money was a real big help and we raised so much more than we anticipated and it was incredible. So a huge thank you to everyone that actually turned up to that. I know a lot of my family and friends came, so thank you. After the pub quiz fundraiser, we as a group made the decision to ask my uncle to host Booba Bingo. So he's a great public speaker and he's also a very lovely man. So we asked him and of course he said yes, anything to help. So free of charge, my uncle came and hosted Booba Bingo. So anybody who came to the pub quiz fundraiser will have known that he was going to be there. So that was another selling point we could put, because they knew that it wasn't like one of our mates was just going to stand on the stage and shout random numbers for a bingo. It was going to be properly done. So that was a positive, and that was one thing we could tick off our list. We also needed bingo tickets. So in our heads, we had planned to do 3 games of bingo, and that each game of bingo was going to take half an hour. The week before our event, we turned up to St Kentigern's, which was where our event was held, and attended their bingo night. And they played 3 games in 25 minutes. So we were all sat around a table, like looking at each other, and we were like, whoa, we definitely should have researched this a little bit more. So if there was one piece of advice I could give you, it would be research the event you're doing. If you're doing a bingo night, go to some bingo nights, see how it's run, because if we hadn't have made the quick decision to turn up to that event that night, our event could have been an absolute shambles. It could have gone so wrong. So from that night onwards, we made the quick decision to keep the 3 games of bingo, but play 3 games each round. So it was going to be 3 rounds still, but it was going to be 2 games of bingo and a game of stand-up bingo, which was optional. So I think it was £8.50 a ticket. So that included your entry, your chance to play bingo, and your bingo cards. So the week of the event, I made the idea to staple everything together so that you had all your bingo slips on the piece of paper, so nobody would have the wrong slip. So the week of the event on the Wednesday, I was running around trying to find bingo slips because we'd run out of bingo tickets. So I think we'd sold 70 tickets for bingo, and I'd only managed to make, with the bingo box I had, I'd only managed to make 20 packs. No, that was not enough. And we wanted to make sure that just in case we had walk-ins, because nobody from the club had yet bought a ticket for us, but we knew some of them were turning up, we wanted to make sure we had more than enough packs for everybody to join in. So the Wednesday, I was running around Manchester, I was running around Bolton, just trying to find some bingo tickets, and luckily I found some that would not clash with the ones we'd already made. So I made up as many packs as possible, and I think I made up 120 packs of bingo packs, and I bought some paper bags and popped them in, so they had little goodie bags on entrance. And a sweet factory kindly donated loads and loads of sweets to us that we could give out as prizes. We could do a guess the sweet jar. So I made little bundles and I put them in the bags. So upon entry, you received a bag with your bingo cards in. It told you what the prizes were for each round of bingo, and it reminded you to go and buy raffle tickets on the night, and you got a little bag of sweets, which were taken really well because I'm pretty sure everybody ate the sweets, because I went round at the end to try and grab some bags back and there was none left. So no sweets for me, but I'm so glad everybody enjoyed the little goodie bags. But if we had not gone to that game of bingo, we would not have known to do that, and it would have been a completely different story. So Sophia was working really hard behind the scenes. She kept us up to date. She was making signage for the event. She'd managed to get her hands on some balloons, and Neve had managed to get a little photo frame, like stand, and some posters and things off the charity. So we got some balloons off the charity, and then we ordered some tablecloths between Neve and Sophia. And we wanted to keep with the charity's theme for the event, so we carried on with the pink and blue theme of Prevent Breast Cancer, and we completely changed the room. We had balloons, we had little lanterns, we had a little sticker on the dance floor that said Prevent Breast Cancer, and the girls did an amazing job at decorating. Leading up to the event, we realised we had no volunteers, and we were supposed to be doing a volunteer day for the first years, where the first years would come round and meet us. We'd tell them a bit about our event, what kind of things our volunteers would need to be doing, and they'd decide whether they wanted to work with us or not. And because of timetable clashes, this never went ahead and they couldn't reschedule it, so we had no way of getting those volunteers. So we managed to get hold of a few people from first year who were part of the cheerleading team, because Sophia was part of the cheerleading team and my housemate at the time was, and they managed to get in touch with some girls. But with everything that was going on around March time, it was just impossible to get anybody to come and volunteer. So luckily, we had a few girls off our course come and help us, and had Barclays match funding our event, and my dad was selling raffle tickets, so there was somebody to see that it was definitely a charity event, and we had a raffle ticket stand, and I have the best friends ever, so loads of my friends came to help. Well, they came to the event and they did help out a little bit here and there, and my friend's dad kindly sponsored our event, so I will link his website down below, so please check it out. Context Pneumatic Supplies were our sponsor for the evening, and not only did they sponsor us to do the event, they paid for their entire staff to come to the event, and even though it was one of the members of staff's birthdays, we managed to get like a little cake and celebrate for them a little bit. But the whole staff came and they celebrated, and without their kindness and generosity, I don't think we'd have made anywhere near as much as we did. So thank you again to Context Pneumatic Supplies, thank you very much. So the day of the event, you had 4 very, very stressed out girls from the minute we woke up to the minute the event finished. And yeah, it was a long, long day. So I'd managed to get the day off work, which was a blessing. And I drove to Manchester. I had to pick up all the goodie bags and things from my mum's house first. So I picked up all the goodie bags, picked up everything that I needed, and anything I forgot, I just texted my mum and dad and were like, please could you bring it? I forgot this. So luckily we were able to do it that way. I picked up one of the girls from the university. I printed off all the questionnaires, all the things that we needed. I think I spent about £25 in printing credit just to make sure that we had everything, and we had double copies just in case we lost anything, and it was a success. So all those pieces of paper that we needed were there, they were used, so it wasn't a waste of time, thankfully. So yeah, just make sure you got backups of things that are like deadly important. So I printed off a colour copy of our event manual that we made and a non-colour copy, so we gave the colour copy to the lecturers and we kept the non-coloured copy for ourselves, so that we had something to look back at and all the way through the event, so we knew what we were doing. Once we got to the venue, I left Alicia at the venue to start setting up as best as she could, and I went and picked up Sophia, and in the meantime Neve turned up and was able to help Alicia. So as soon as I picked up Sophia, we loaded the car with all the balloons and things, and then we had to unpack the car into the venue, and we had a good 3 hours before the event to set up. So we all focused on different tasks ourselves. So we set up what we needed, we set up what we knew was like deadly important first, then we did all the table decorations, decorated the room, and before we knew it, we were done, and we could talk through what we needed to do, we could talk through what the briefing needed to be like, could talk through anything we wanted to change and things like that. And it was really, really helpful because it allowed us to calm ourselves down a little bit just before the lecturers got there. So as soon as the lecturers got there, we talked them through what we'd done, we did the briefing with the volunteers, with my uncle who was the host, and we just made sure everybody knew what they were doing, and I feel like that calmed us down so much. So when the event started, we did have a lot of walk-ins, which was brilliant. We were never at full capacity for the venue because it was about 230 people, and we just wanted everybody to have a good time. We managed to make the venue look full, which was a positive. We didn't hit the 100 people mark. However, we got very close. I think we had 96 people, and for me that was perfect because I was petrified that we were going to have 10 people and our target was 100. Being 4 people off is absolutely nothing, so I was very proud of that fact. All the way through the event, you could tell that we were all stressed. We tried to walk around and mix with the family and friends as best as we could, but I don't think until I'd packed the car that night and got home, it still hadn't hit that the event was over. It wasn't until the next day when I got up that I was like, whoa, we actually did a really good job. So we did all sorts. We had a raffle, we had a bingo, we even ended up with an auction at one point, and the lecturers were saying like, well done, you've done well, don't worry about anything. And we were all like, yeah, but have we done well or have we failed? Like, can you give us some feedback? Obviously the lecturers can't give you feedback straight away because they've got to go through it all properly. So they just told us to calm down and be happy that the event went well. Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves, and we raised, just from that event itself, the Booby Bingo, we raised £1,150.71, which meant that altogether, when it came to handing the money over to prevent breast cancer, we'd raised a whopping £2,691.09. So one of the best parts of our event for me personally was the fact that we managed to get some guest speakers from Prevent Breast Cancer to open the evening. So we didn't want the evening to just be bingo. We didn't want the evening to just be a raffle and karaoke and things like that. We wanted to make sure that people knew the reason they were there, that this was a fundraising, like it wasn't just my coursework or the group's coursework. It was a fundraising event and we were trying to raise money for a real charity. So we got some girls from the charity who have needed Prevent Breast Cancer in the past to do a speech. So they opened up by doing a talk for about 20 minutes, and our client turned up as well, which was really nice, and she did a little speech at the beginning as well, and she congratulated us because she was amazed at how many men we managed to get to the event, to the point that I think there was more men at the event than there were women. A lot of my friends came and brought their boyfriends, a couple of my friends came who are just lads, so I have actually got the most supportive friends and family ever, so thank you all for coming. So yeah, the event was a huge success. So I'll link below again Universal, I'll link below again my Instagram as always, and I'll also link below Prevent Breast Cancer, just so you can all check them out, see what happened, and you can see some images from the actual event on Universal's Instagram still. It's still up and running, so you can all have a little nosy there. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you agree that we did a good job. We did pass, just to let you all know. We did pass, and the only things that, if I was being completely honest, the only things I would do differently is I would fundraise a lot sooner. Even with all the issues, even if we hadn't got an event idea yet, I would have started fundraising a little bit sooner. I think we all agreed that that is something that we'd all have done differently as a group, and I'd have looked into venues a little bit sooner. It was of no mistake of the group. It was just impossible to look at the time. But if I had to do it again, I would try and find a more fitting venue. The venue was brilliant. It was so helpful, so handy for what we needed. But I just don't think it was very fitting with the type of event. So we'd try and find somewhere a little bit more fitting. But other than that, I think we did a good job. I think we worked well together as a team. And I think it was, well, you can tell by what we handed over, it was a huge success. And we managed to tick every box that we wanted. We missed a few targets, but only just, and those ones that we did hit, we smashed. So I think it kind of balanced it out, so it made it very successful. Would I do it again? I definitely would do it again. Obviously, I'm still doing event management, and I think it's a very positive part of the course for universities to do, because it gives people the chance to experience it all in real life, rather than just being like, yeah, I'm going to be an event manager, oh, I'll do my first event when I'm getting paid. It was a huge sigh of relief that I've done it now, because I know exactly what I'm getting myself into, and I know that I can do it now. So it really has helped. It has built my confidence a lot more, and I do believe that this is the reason why I actually started liking university a little bit more. I've shared before in past videos that me and university have got a bit of a love-hate relationship, but I think this coursework is what kind of pushed me to carry on doing my best and getting better. So yeah, that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and even leave me a little comment to say if you came to the event, let me know what you thought, and if you didn't come to the event, let me know if you think we did well. See you soon, guys. Bye.